on a crucial topic. Does a ban on physical beating affect the discipline of schools? Before we begin, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our respected principal, Father Lindsay Rego, respected teachers, the participants and the audience. As we all know, discipline is a cornerstone of effective education, shaping not just students' behavior but their future. The issue at hand explores whether the prohibition of physical punishment is beneficial or detrimental to maintain the order and discipline in educational institute. Now we have four teams here. Two teams, blue and green, will argue that banning physical beating fosters a more positive and effective learning environment. On the other hand, we have red and yellow team who will contend that such a ban could undermine discipline and respect within school. Now I invite the first two teams, red and blue, on the stage. I would like to invite our esteemed moderator, Anish sir, to the stage to facilitate this discussion and ensure a fair and engaging debate. Additionally, a heartfelt welcome to our judges,
Chisel and hammer transform a rock into a beautiful sculpture. Likewise, the fragmented punishments of gentle strokes, pats, or blows of a teacher's scale convert an ordinary student into a civilized human. Good morning, everyone. This is a representative of Red House, and our today's discourse is on the topic: did the legal ban of physical punishment affect the discipline in our schools? And I'm going to speak for the motion, as I totally believe the banning of physical punishment has had a direct impact on the escalating discipline problems in schools. RTE Act 2009 prohibits physical punishment under Section 17 first and makes it a punishable offence under Section 17 second. Now, picture this: a classroom, a teacher and his students. The atmosphere grows tense. Someone is bullied, it seems. It's not that academically weak student. Not that timid or shy student. But the teacher himself. Sounds funny or contradictory? Well, it's the real condition of almost all the schools in present time. The unruliness in schools have escalated after this law has came into operation and learners were made aware of it. Ruth, a kindergarten teacher of Fujairah, tells that once a secondary teacher was pushed and verbally harassed by a student just because she refused to change her test results. My question is, who are we to limit those who are sculpting young minds and are thus creating future leaders? In ancient times, across such cases, physical punishment was seen as a way to guide them back to righteousness. And if I talk about the misconceptions of harassment, torturing or terrorizing students, then let me clarify it. There's a big difference between physical abuse and punishment. According to a census conducted by Times of India, teachers who practice physical punishment mention that it's only applied as a last resort. Now, with the conclusion of my speech, I want to make an appeal to everyone present here that please hand over the magic wand disguised in wooden sticks to your teachers again, and then see what magic happens.
Group leader of Blue House to speak in favor of the motion.
Is making a child suffer for having a problem. In order to raise problem solvers, we need to focus on solutions, not retribution. Good morning to all present here in the auditorium today. I, Shaurya Gupta, the group leader of Blue House, will be expressing my views on a grave concern that has plagued the Indian education system, and that is physical punishment as a form of discipline. I will be speaking against the motion that the legal ban on physical punishment has affected the discipline in schools. Physical punishment is often seen masquerading as discipline within the school premises. Well, let me tell you, and educators.
Well, I think you all won't just believe me just by listening to me, but let me assure you, there have been several researches conducted by various organizations such as UNICEF, which show that physical punishment can lead to increased aggression, lowered self-esteem, several mental health issues, and anxiety disorders. Physical punishment may be compliance in the short run, but it's rendered completely ineffective and useless in the long run. What it fails to do is that it fails to address the underlying problem that a child might be facing, which is causing him or her to misbehave or behave out of order, which is not desirable. Physical punishment or any sort of mental harassment is a punishable offense under Section 17 of Right to Education Act of 2009. This legal ban has not affected the discipline in schools. What it has ensured is that now educators must provide an environment which is safe.
Views and the world's views, but are bounded by time. So I'll finish off not by saying that's all I have to say, but by saying that's all I can say right now. Thank you. Called a rebuttal round. In the rebuttal round, you can ask questions each other. Okay. So first,
Students, maybe he had some other problems. He may be short-tempered, but let me tell you, physical punishment or any sort of aggression against students is never an acceptable form. I mean, I was born in 2007, not way before, and education and schools have been a part of our culture and society since long before. So I don't see how I can tell you why it was introduced, but I can tell you that whoever introduced this must be the biggest idiot of all time.
So according to you, a teacher who is rebellious or a teacher who has a frustration with the students has introduced the physical punishment. But it has become a culture in not only Indian schools but the schools all over the world. And a culture is accepted only when it has some positive effects. So physical punishment must be having some positive effects. That's why it is prevailing in our society since many years. And physical punishment are a method to cope with the students' mental health in the present time.
Just answer me that what safeguards you ensure that the fine line between a physical abuse and the method of maintaining discipline is maintained, because most of the abuse starts in the form of discipline maintenance.
Don't you think that teachers, being well educated and well experienced, know the thin line between physical punishment and physical harassment?
I hope you have heard about the famous soda incident, where the teacher slapped a student so hard that he got 4 stitches. I hope you know about it.
These are only a few cases, and these cases cannot overrule the positive impact of physical punishment.
If you think so that physical punishment is so bad, it's so bad it should be, if you think that physical punishment is so good, then why many countries like Sweden have banned it and a higher issue of education? Why?
Well, as you have mentioned of Sweden, here is an example of Switzerland. Switzerland has never banned, and it's a part of their culture known as school canning. So, how can you justify it? Singapore is one of the highest educated countries, where it is a part of their culture that the physical punishment is the part of their culture known as school canning. How can you say this according to a country?
Well, since you raised this question, what you gave me is a statement. Singapore caning. It's a part of the culture, but what you have done is just provided me with half of the information. After that school caning, beating students with a stick, a counseling is done for them, in which they address their underlying problems. So, what you're trying to do, I don't know what you're trying to do here, providing me with just half of the information, because the way you just phrase the question is very misleading. So, please pay attention to that.
Well, I think you misheard me. I clearly mentioned the physical punishment known as school canning there in Singapore. And my another question is,
more explanation is needed for the day.
Caning is a word given for physical punishment. It is clearly mentioned school caning. School caning means the physical punishment in schools. It is used to keep the students in discipline.
So, according to you, a student's grade are more important than their mental health being? That's what you're saying, because you're correlating that with more discipline equals to more grades. But do you really think about their mental health status? What they must be going through after getting a beating in front of their whole class from their teacher? Do you think that they are now going to respect the teacher from whom they have just received a beating? They are going to respect that teacher, oh, he just beat me. I have developed a sense of respect for him or her. No, what you're going to do is now fear him or her. And out of that fear, you're going to study, not out of respect.
So, as you said, that the physical punishment does not have any positive effect. I will tell you a situation that recently Kerala High Court officially stated this, that if the physical punishment is given to the children for their betterment, then it is not any criminal offense. If the physical punishment is so bad, then why the court has accepted this? Can you please explain this?
Could you please phrase your question in a more clear manner? I couldn't understand.
My question is that recently Kerala High Court gave a statement in which the court said
He will be, his mental peace will be affected even if you are giving him even if you are using any other disciplinary measure.
No, there is a method like counseling session. Our school has also adopted that the counseling session is affect student to be disciplined in manner. Not a physical punishment is there only. When we talk about solutions of a problem, then we talk about the most effective and efficient method. Counseling is a very long method, and counseling is not possible in school with limited resources. How can we take counseling to rural areas where they do not have people specialized in degree in psychology? How can we bring counselors to rural areas of India? And as we know, the majority population of India lives in the rural areas.
You just mentioned that counseling is a time-taking process. So, a person's time is more valuable than their mental health. That's the statement. It doesn't matter how much time it takes, you have to address the problems they are facing. May it be depression, or they may be dyslexic or autistic. There are such mental health cases which cannot be resolved just by physical beating. Counseling has to be done in those cases.
So you are talking about counseling. Do you think it really works?
Yes, of course. That's why therapy and therapists is such a progressive career nowadays. That's why they are minting money right now.
Okay, now just let me tell you that students carry guns to their schools to kill their teachers and their fellow mates because of aggression. If counseling would have really worked in this situation, then why would students do so?
Let me counter argument, please. Can you make your counter argument?
Let's last one. For example, a great cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar sir, has self-motivation and self-realization. That's why he became successful. What would you say about that?
You took example of Sachin Tendulkar. But I have many examples of great personalities who claim that the physical punishments they have got from their teachers during their childhood have affected them positively and have led them to the success they hold in the present. Coming to the topic of counseling, don't you think that counseling is a long process, and with the part of counseling there should be a physical punishment for the immediate action? Because some students are so stubborn and full of themselves in this world of social media that they are not ready to accept any counseling, because before the teachers, parents are the first. They are guiding the student. They are guiding the children from a very early age. If the parents are not
Teachers are also human beings. They know the limits. You have to make sure that the limit is maintained.
Counseling. Do you have other solutions other than physical punishment?
Physical and mental well-being of the student is affected.
Please answer my question first. Do you have other solutions than counseling?
Yeah,
Tell me.
talking to them on a personal level, reaching out to their parents, friends, or some other companions. Not only counseling, talking to a stranger and resolving a problem is the solution.
Dear, this is what counseling is. I didn't take my appropriate answer. Yes, okay.
Please, you can raise the question now.
Yeah. So I just want to ask you, isn't it a double standard that you are promoting physical punishment in the case of students who are the future generation of policy makers who are going to shape the globe, and on the other hand, you are people against about the domestic violence and about other things which are in the adult relationships. You people say that when a child commits mistake and creates a problem, it can be solved by physical punishment. But on the other hand, in adult relationships, when someone commits a problem or a mistake, you people say that we can sort it out. So why this double standard for children who are literally going to shape the globe, and on the other hand about
Let me give you an analogy for the students. Assume that we have to mold a clay and a slip. To mold a clay is very easier and we can mold it with hand. But for steel, we need a hammer to mold it. So in case of such student, I am not saying that physical punishment is the only method to resolve the students. But in case of severe cases, physical punishment is the only method as in case of a steel. And physical punishment creates a sense of authority and respect for the teachers and for the higher authorities that allows the students.
Do you think that it creates respect? Really, it creates respect or resentment. The fear is of a short interval of time. It's just for the time being. After some time, the fear will vanish and he'll commit the mistake again. Until and they'll not stop committing that mistake until and unless they are taught that it's wrong and why it should be stopped.
Is that physical punishment with respect rather than resentment towards authority figures like teachers?
The question.
Is there any evidence to suggest that physical punishment with respect rather than resentment towards authority figures like teachers?
Let me ask you a question.
Please have a proper reply for her question. Answer the question. She has raised the question here.
I will ask the question and that question will answer the question they asked.
Please proceed.
Let me ask you a question. Most of the students, not only in India but study with a fear of marks or with a fear of not upgrading them or upgrading their skills. So fear is a very important aspect of life, and fear allows us to become more and allow to improve ourselves. And physical punishment is a method to improve the students where any other method is not applicable.
Discipline is about teaching and not about terrorizing. We are not terrorizing students. We are not saying that you should go and beat students. We are just saying that physical punishment should be an option in schools. It is not compulsory that whenever a student commits a mistake, you have to give them physical punishment. But physical punishment means that you have to beat the particular student. Firstly, clarify. Okay? Physical punishment doesn't mean that you have to give physical punishment every time. I support the physical punishment.
Okay, please control. Now you can a question. Please both of you sit down. This group was...
Actually, I've seen on the Wikipedia.
Wikipedia?
There are mobiles on the table and you can search it on the Wikipedia.
Yeah, search it up.
And Wikipedia provides more reliable information than a 12-year-old proving his point. Then up to
You can have a counter argument in 40 seconds.
Well, I didn't give any argument. I just asked you to produce a piece of concrete evidence of the stats you just gave me, but what you just gave me is another statement. Could you please still give me those stats, that the ratios and the percentage you just told me, because I cannot believe your word of mouth.
Now the chance for rebuttal is over. 20 minutes completed. So here comes the chance for the second phase of the debate. I invite both the teams who are audience now to come over the stage.
By third and fourth team on the stage, Yellow House will say for the motion and Green House will say against the motion.
It should be very clear and precise. And secondly, before answering the question, you listen to the question very carefully and you decide among yourself who is going to answer and put forward your arguments. Both the question as well as the answer should be clear and to the point. Please don't try to beat around the bush. Okay, thank you. All of you to the second phase of our debate competition. Now I invite the leader of Green House to put forward your arguments. Your time starts now.
Today's topic is, does the legal ban on physical punishment affect the discipline of the school? And we are going to speak against the notion that is, the physical punishment does not affect the discipline of the school. The Times of India article says that in 2010, Ravanjit Rawla, a student of Lamatandal School in Kolkata, was humiliated and caned in the school for not bringing the compass box. In 2009, Shahrukh Khan, the student of MST Primary School, was brutally beaten for not wearing the correct uniform. A teacher, Bablu Basu, in Mumbai itself quotes that there is no reason why the corporal punishment should be in school or in the classroom. And how will you justify the student who is suffering from rulers on knuckles or on palms, or the pencil between the fingers by the teachers in a macabre pedagogic way in the name of the discipline? Let's study this with one more example. What we teach students? We teach students to not to beat each other, right? The teachers are the one to whom we idolize, we respect the most. But when we will see the teachers only beating the student, what impact it will create on the other students? The corporal punishment emphasizes the children's moral and well-being behavior both. There are many other alternatives which we can take. For example, we can stop the things by which the student is getting fascinated. For example, if by just cancelling one PT period, we can see there is a vast difference between the child's behavior, because that thing fascinates the child. We can see the privileges, we can stop the privileges of student for some time. We can do the counseling sessions. But about all these alternatives, physical punishment does not stand on any position. Because after some time, the student will be like, what else now you can do? Because you have done corporal punishment with me. What else now you will do? Their skin becomes that thick that they become very, very stubborn. And with being stubborn, there is a very negative impact on their mind. At last, I would like to conclude by saying, animals are trained, students are educated. Lions also learn sitting in the chair by beating weaves and terrors. But we call them well trained. We don't call them well educated. And schools are the place to educate the people, not to train them. Teachers, the authorities, the teachers are called teachers, not well trainers, because they educate us, not train us. That's all from our side. Thank you.
Myself for committing any sort of malicious activity or any mischief or any misbehave in the school, just because I know the fact that I will not be punished, I will not get punished by the teachers.
they won't break an inch of my hair. I know that. Well, that's exactly the face of the teachers will be when this actually will happen to them. I, Abhish Narayan, representing Yellow House, will be speaking for the motion, and hereby I propose that the ban on physical punishment is affecting the discipline of the school. Referring to some statistical data, well, I quote that increase on the ban on the physical punishment, which was supposed to increase the discipline in the school, has actually decreased the discipline rate by 13 to 15%. Shocking, isn't it? Well, one more statistical data I would like to contribute. That is, recently we got a news that in Kerala, a teacher got brutally beaten by a student because he was not really able to. Getting to the main point. The thing is that he was not. That basically the teacher was. What was actually happening? That the teacher was beaten brutally by the student just because the teacher scolded the student. Well, that's actually not the case. And look how we have. How the tables have turned so far. What actually happening that earlier teachers used to beat the students and not students are beating the teachers. Yeah, you may laugh loud on it, but that's absolutely horrendous and unacceptable. Well, getting into the nitty-gritties of this system, well, I believe our parents and our own teachers were once a part of this system too, right? But they were a part of this particular system in which there was a sense of fright among the students that if they will do any sort of malicious activity inside the school, they will get punished. And I don't think so that the particular system was a failure. Are our teachers a failure? Are our parents a failure? Absolutely not. Well, see, there is a basic analogy to it. If a particular student will not get punished for his or her offense, he or she will continue to commit the same offense. Alright? So hereby, I conclude to propose that I oppose this ban on physical punishment, and this removal ban, the ban must be removed. And the second thing is that the ban must be removed, and we should and that will lead us to make a disciplined youth. Thank you very much.
You can ask the first question. Greenhouse can ask the first question. One of your member, please stand up and ask the question. Make sure that your mic is switched on.
So first question I want to ask you that how much do you believe in our constitution and our judicial system?
We believe completely.
Okay, so if you believe completely in a judicial system, then what about the Article 19 of the UN Convention on Rights of Child 1989? It suggests that any kind of disciplinary measure should not interfere with the dignity of the child. It clearly says that, and any kind of punishment, physical punishment especially, is unacceptable totally. Article 28 and clause 2nd of the same convention says that all the education system must take all the appropriate measures to maintain the discipline at the school, but not at the cost of dignity of any human. And do child not count as human? What is your take on this?
Now please give a chance to her to how the counter argument.
Who is saying that physical punishment will take away the dignity of an individual? And I must say that you are a little bit confused between the two words physical punishment and physical harassment. And the rules which are made are against physical exploitation of a child, not physical punishment.
The United Nations Convention has clearly mentioned that it is physical punishment given in the schools for disciplinary measures, not physical harassment. And what do you think? A child who is below the age of 18 years would be able to perceive what is right or wrong according to his age? Even judicial system or Supreme Court says that a person who is below the age of 18 years is unable to perceive what is right or wrong for him.
That is why teachers are giving him physical punishment to make him understand what is right and what is wrong.
when a parent punishes their child, it is said that is in for the betterment of the students. And when the teacher punished, then how is it wrong?
Very thin line between a teacher and a parent. The parent knows the limit of when the child may feel a pain or maybe distressed because of the beatings they get from the parents. But this limit is not known to the teacher for every child. There are many children in school. I know it may be beneficial for some of the students, but not for everyone. That's why
Teachers also know the limits.
Can you repeat the question?
Teachers also know the limits.
Not for every child. That's what I'm trying to say, right? We have thousands of children in a single school, and a single teacher is responsible for hundreds of children. Does he know the limit of every child when he gets emotionally damaged or emotionally affected?
So basically, at what thin line you are referring to of a differentiating between a teacher and a parent?
The parents are the one who has brought up the child from his birth, his or her birth, right? So they know the limit of when he will get affected.
So doesn't the teacher know the limit when to be the child and when not?
Because the teachers get changed every year. We have
see, basically what I want to convey is that similarly, why the teachers are known as second parents? Because at some point of time, parents also teach something to children, and also teachers also has something the same to do so. And similarly, I believe teachers are well aware of the fact, and they're well aware of the
limit. Please now chance for the greenhouse to ask the question.
How would you justify all the sufferings of a child through the physical punishment they get? How would you justify those? Suppose a child has low self-esteem. How would you justify if a teacher beats him and he gets lesser self-esteem and he gets into more self-doubt and he does any wrong action? Then who will be responsible for it?
Alright, then if you're going on that road, let's consider one more situation where a teacher is getting brutally beaten by a student and getting physically molested or harassed. So how will you judge that? How will you justify that? Is it justifiable for the student to beat the teacher as well? Just like I mentioned that statistical
I have never
data.
seen a student beat a teacher well, basically. I've never seen.
Can you please repeat?
What was your point? You said, teacher beat,
Students are beating the teachers as well. So how will you justify that?
I have never seen a student beat a teacher.
You have never seen
a student beat a teacher.
So haven't you even heard of the cases?
What cases? There are thousands. What cases?
I think
there cannot be any verbal evidences. You have to provide proper evidences.
First of all, I think you haven't listened to my speech. I believe you haven't listened to my speech. I already mentioned that. Yeah.
The time exceeds the question. Now here comes the chance of Yellow House to ask the question, raise the question.
You were talking about instances. Why go so far? Let's talk about India. And according to 2023 Delhi Police reports, they received no less than 20 reports, 20 cases on an average where they are getting teacher harassed by the students and the conflict between the teachers and students. What do you have to say about it? Is it not the instance of indiscipline which is rising just because there is no physical punishment?
Is 20 case very much according to on the scale of level of a country?
What? Can you please repeat?
On a scale of whole country, are 20 cases very much? You look at the population, 20 cases are like negligible cases.
On an average, I'm talking about.
On an average, it marks up to only 20.
Yes, per month.
And what are the cases where teacher punishes the students? Could you give any fact?
Most of the teachers which get harassed by the students, the cases are not coming out just because the teachers don't want to lose their self-respect. And students can say whatever they want, but teachers want their self-respect.
Okay, now I would like to answer your questions under two headings: moral considerations as well as the legal considerations. Physical harassment only hardens the child. It only intervenes with its education, and he tries to seek for a way of retribution, often violence. And children at this age, their impressionable mind sometimes may accept it as a way. They may choose violence and may end up becoming toxic adults and may choose violence as a means of retribution also. And third is that it is very important to understand that the dignity of the child is maintained at every level. Now you all only tell me, if an adult person commits a crime, would you like the police to handle it cleverly, to talk to the criminal who has committed a crime, or would you like directly put into jail. If human rights are applied to adults, then are children also not part of the human rights?
Alright, if you're mentioning these police activities, let me ask you one more question. What do you think, what kind of punishment must be given? According to you, what must be an appropriate punishment for a rapist?
Okay, I'll answer that accordingly. I will propose 3 alternative methods that can be used instead of punishing. First one is positive reinforcement methods. Children who follow the discipline and maintain behavior in the school could be given some extra opportunities and could be praised in front of everyone else, so their dignity is maintained and they will often thrive to maintain the discipline further in their coming years. And the second is the interventional programs. The behavioral intervention programs should be introduced at the basic level of every ground level in every school, so that students are taught about empathy, emotions as well as the intersocial skills. These are the alternatives that I would give.
Here comes the chance of Yellow House to ask the questions to Green House.
Okay, so according to Dr. Dosen, he himself says that the punishment should be balanced with love. So what do you think about? It won't be effective for the students? Could you please repeat? Yeah, sure. According to Dr. Kelvin Delson, he is a child development expert. He himself says that a physical punishment should be balanced with love. So won't you think it would be effective to give physical punishment so that the boundaries can be set and children can know what is wrong and what is right?
How boundaries can be set? What is for boundaries for you? I wanted to give you an example. A survey conducted in 2013 by Saving India Foundation shows that the schools practice physical punishment have higher risk of depression, aggression in children's behavior. And I wanted to ask from your question, one question also, what is more important according to you? A good environment with positive mindset will do not address their problems to the teachers because of the fear they have in their minds. What would you like to say about
you haven't really comprehended the main context of the debate. We are not favoring physical molestation. We are favoring physical punishment under proper supervision. Alright?
Now, Green House can ask the next question to Yellow House.
As you guys are in favor of the physical punishment, I would like to ask that have you researched for any surveys or positive facts that can say that there is a detrimental impact on overall discipline of the school? Do you have? But it's good that I have. Respected judges and moderator, following bar chart is presented to you, which clearly shows that no corporal punishment has no negative effect. If no corporal punishments are being given, then it has no major effect on the education of the child, whereas even if mild or even severe corporal punishments will be given, then it has all the negative effects on the behavioral as well as the mental and social and physical aspects of the child also. So how can you say, if you do not have any facts and figures, and I'm showing facts and figures that have been conducted, then how can you say, how can you defend us?
Okay. My question from you is, why everybody only care about the
Answer.
Please answer for the question.
My question is that if you guys are in favor that the legalization of physical punishment should be done, then why you guys don't have presented any facts or figures? I have presented facts and figures according to the International Journal on the Psychology of
About that, how discipline has increased? Can you please provide me the facts of it? Can I see those papers? Do you have any kind of papers of that? Which explain that the discipline has actually increased by a certain amount or something, graph or something. Can you show me that?
I have presented a graph.
About which graph exactly?
It is a graph which was International Journal on Indian Psychology published on March 25, 2016, conducted by Mr. Arun Kumar as well as Dr. Mahesh Kumar. It is on the site, you can check for it. I have clearly researched for it, and it is if you find any effects in this graph.
Basically I didn't ask about the address of it, about this site or who has published this particular graph. I just want to know that do you have any concrete data about by how much exactly, what amount this discipline has increased from over the years after this physical punishment has been banned?
students, but why are you not talking about the mental health of the teachers? Do teachers like to punish their students just because they are not their enemies? Teachers are adults and the students are the kids. So what that means that kids are sensitive.
So do you want to prove a point? Do you want to prove a point of saying that the adults are they don't have any feelings or emotions like
yes.
that?
What about the students?
Is it just
Why are you talking about the students? Mental health of the teachers also. You are talking about teachers. What about the students?
Please control your
What
emotions.
about the feelings of the students?
Don't have an argument from out of your emotions. Please control it and ask questions, and according to that have arguments.
First of all, let's take teachers into consideration. You say that the teachers are adults. So don't you think that adults doesn't have any emotions or feelings? Do you think is it justifiable for the students to beat the teachers or to molest the teachers? Is it justifiable? Are you trying to justify that?
Listen, teachers do have feelings and do have emotions, and students also have emotions, right? Also, you said in your speech that child's mistake can only be corrected through physical punishment, right?
I didn't say only. I think you misheard my speech. Well, what I want to I would like to correct you on this particular point of time. Listen to me first. I didn't say that this is the only method. I absolutely agree. Of course, it is not the only solution, but it is indeed one of the solutions if physical punishment can be implemented under proper supervision. All right. If it is okay.
Time exceeds for the question. Now you can raise the next question to the other group, opposite group.
How can you define the potential consequences that a particular child or the children or the student
You give them as much you want, but then definitely once anything happens, then the parents say you should not have beaten. That's a different issue. However, on an overall, the matter of the motion for and against, I think both have got the solid points. The both also have got weak points. Considering these both, the debate will continue. And you can keep on continuing and find out, definitely a result will definitely come. Once again, I congratulate all the students, those who are winners, and also ask the students, those who have had to grow, they may grow in wisdom, they may grow in prudence, and they may grow in knowledge, and communicate the information that they gain, they imbibe to the audience, to with each other. Once again, I thank Jojo sir, I thank the anchor, I thank the judges, I thank the participants, I thank all the students, and also the audience. God bless you. Have a very good day. Thank you.
For a special reason, you might have seen this time we have changed the pattern or the way of debate. Did you enjoy it? Yes. Father only suggested for this. Earlier we had the traditional way of two speakers will come from each house. One will speak for the motion, one will speak against the motion, and there was rebuttal for 2 or 3 minutes. But of course you might have experience. Number one, more participation. 20 students from each house was given the chance to participate. So, more participation and more points. When one speaks, he or she may have less points. When you 20 are sitting together, you will have different opinion, different points. So thank you, Father, for suggesting this and changing this mode of debate. It was far better than our previous way of debating. Now, I would like to thank all the judges and the moderator Anish sir and the 3 judges for dispersing your duties well. And my special thanks to all the participants. This topic was given only on Tuesday. Within no time, means within 4 days, you have prepared very well, collected lot of data and presented very well. So my special congratulations to all the participants. Please put your hands together to give them a huge round of applause. So of course, it was the first attempt in group. So I'm sure that in the coming years, you will improve a lot, all the houses. And my special mention to 2 students, Malay Shukla of Greenhouse and Dikshit. Avika also of the Greenhouse. Both of you have presented very well. All of you have done your parts well, but my special mention for these students, these two students, good language, good points, good arguments, keep it up, and all the best for all of you for the coming years. Thank you, a big thank you to all of you. So as Father said,